Hey, welcome back to Heads and Tails. I'm your host Fatih, and today we have a truly special guest joining us. He's not only a dear friend of mine, but also an incredibly talented large canvas oil painter whose work speaks volumes. It's an absolute pleasure to have him on the pod. Please give a warm welcome to my friend Khaled. His journey has been nothing short of remarkable. Originally from Syria, he made the bold decision to migrate to Istanbul over a decade ago, where he has since made a profound impact on his own world. I've had the privilege of spending countless hours with him, delving into deep conversations about life, philosophy, and the mysteries of consciousness, as usual people talk about. His insight and passion for his craft is truly inspiring. Currently, Khaled is making waves with a well-deserved solo exhibition in Dubai, showcasing his art with one of the biggest galleries in the industry. His dedication to perfecting his craft day in and day out serves as a testament to my belief that success is not merely a stroke of luck, but the result of relentless hard work and perseverance. In today's episode, our conversation takes us on a fascinating journey. We touch upon topics ranging from the ancient roots of civilization in Syria to the global complexities of government hypocrisy. Then we pivot to explore the individual pursuit of happiness, the future of education, and Khaled's voyage in living his dream life. We'll delve into the depths of artistic inspiration and the significance of originality in art. Even touch upon the enigmatic realm of quantum physics. From discussions on auctions to the role of creativity in achieving both inner fulfillment and external success, our conversation is as diverse as it is thought-provoking. Khaled will also share his insights on his favorite artists and the impact of individualism on society, and reminisce about the iconic era of boxing from the Tyson-Holyfield bouts. So sit back, get yourself a nice beverage, relax, and join us as we embark on this captivating journey with the one and only Khaled. Enjoy. If you compare hills in Beşiktaş and in your hometown, Halep, do you think Halep is a more flat country?
Yeah, Halep is a flat city.
Oh, okay.
It's like all flat. We don't have hills. The only hill we have is the citadel. It's in the middle of the city, and everything is built around it since thousands of years, since the Hittites. Yeah, they discovered in 2008, 2009, maybe they discovered a Hittite temple inside the citadel.
Oh.
Which makes the...
It's untouched.
Sorry?
Untouched.
Untouched. They digged in the middle and they found the temple there. If you Google it, like the Hittite temple in Aleppo citadel, you will find it. The German, I think, they 3D scanned all rocks, everything. They 3D scanned. So you will be able, I think, if you make a little research, you can find actually the temple. Wow. and go around it like virtually.
Damn.
Yeah,
they made a 3D version of that
3D scan.
On the metaverse.
Yeah.
Put your VR on and get the full immersive experience.
It's a VR experience of the temple. Dude. Because it's a very important temple. That proved that Aleppo is the oldest city inhabited continuously throughout history. It's like this, like it was never abandoned. I mean, since the first rock was built until today, continuously people lived in that city.
I say it's an energy. I mean, it's kind of like Pyramids Giza, like one of these stations where there was a lot of intense things going on throughout history, and different times, that it's not a good idea to leave this place, it shouldn't really go underground.
Yeah. Also, I mean, circumstances. I mean, sometimes you leave because, you just can't stay. Drought, for example, Babylon and the whole Mesopotamia thing. Such a great culture, and the only reason it's vanished and we don't see it today is the climate change.
Right. It's inevitable.
Yeah, the climate has been changing since forever. It's not something happening now. We're of course contributing to it with our lifestyle. But even if you don't do anything, it's gonna change.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm not convinced that if I stop, wasting water and convince all my friends to stop wasting water, we're gonna like turn this shit around. I think it's going to happen. That doesn't mean you should waste water, obviously, but at the same time, it's like the corporations need to step up and really change the game rather than expecting their. I mean, okay, here, let me take it a little political here for a second, but I saw a picture of an Iranian like high level person's daughter getting married in DC with no hijab, and like meanwhile they're telling their fucking people to just obey and like follow the rules, but they're living the Western lavish lifestyle, so it's kind of like this hypocritical view on what's happening in the world, and not really giving the people, I don't know, it's messed up.
Well, I mean, we want this place to be better, not because we want the Earth to continue. I mean, Earth will continue without us. I mean, we want this place better so we live better, so our kids live better. I mean, like, even if you waste water, I mean, water never leave the planet. I mean, it's still there.
It's in the cycle.
The atmosphere is in a cycle, I mean. Now, you may not like the cycle later. I mean, it will be hurricanes and floods and stuff. But Earth itself, as a piece of beautiful blue rock.
It's been there.
She's happy, It doesn't matter, like volcanoes or peace or birds. I mean, it's fine. It's like evolving.
Yeah, you're right.
And same I think with people. Like people, they want to evolve, and on the journey for that, sometimes they do mistakes, of course. I mean, but collectively we all lose. I think collectively we all lose as a species, as a humans. I mean,
suffering from other people's mistakes.
On a cosmic scale, all your problems means nothing. All the genocides means nothing on a cosmic scale. I mean, but on a deep spiritual level, I mean, everything makes sense here. And for us to continue as a spirits, I think we need to take advantage of like this life. I mean, take advantage meaning that, I mean, appreciate every moment here and not be caught in to do, like I want to achieve, I want to become something. I mean, even terrorists, I mean, all the terrorists or these people like fundamentalists who always call for like injustice and when they get sick they go to Europe, for example. We're talking about the Middle East here. I mean, you see them on mosques and calling for like making everyone as an infidel, but the first illness they have, you see them in Europe and an infidel making a surgery.
Yeah, but I think there is something to be said about really like coming back to yourself and like what you came here to do, just exploring, appreciating, and just expanding from there. You can at least make the world around you a little bit better. It doesn't have to be the whole world. You can make your own mind better to start, and then maybe that can help your immediate surroundings. But I think life is life.
If the world is better in your mind, then it is better. It is actually better, because if you love the planet, you won't harm animals, you won't pollute your environment, you won't make bad things to your own species, to your friends and family and people around you. And if you're like this, then you are the same as everyone. I mean, if we are all like this, then that's it. I think
they say true happiness.
Nirvana.
Totally. They say true happiness is the one that is contagious. Like if you really are happy, then the people around you are happy. You're not just happy by yourself selfishly, but you're more happy. Your happiness creates channels for more happiness, people around you.
If they're willing to be happy, I don't think like if I'm happy, people around me will be happy. I mean, because I think happiness is a choice. We all know people.
Sure, but if you're happy, there are more people around you that are likely to be happy, I think. But as opposed to if you're just a sad person.
Of course, I mean, if you're happy, I mean, people look at you and they see that there is a chance of someone being happy if they're unhappy.
Yeah, exactly. A little hope, you know. What did you want to be when you wanted to grow up?
I had no image of myself to be anything. The other day I was talking to a friend, an artist friend, about like becoming a painter, and he was like, when he asked me like when did you realize that you want to become a painter? Yes. And I thought about it. It's like I never thought about it. I mean, I gave a thought for his question. I was like, I never thought about becoming a painter. Of course, I chose to be things in my life, but I didn't have an image of what I want to be.
So you didn't know what you wanted to be when you were a kid? Like, not that you wanted to know, but you know that cliche question, they're like, what do you want to be? What do you want to grow up? Like, did you never have an answer?
I never had an answer.
Really?
My family never pushed me to have an answer.
That's some good parents right there.
Yeah, I think I got the best parents I can get in this reincarnation. I mean,
I think so too.
This karma, I mean, I'm really happy with my karma.
Your upbringing sounds like you've made no commitments to anything other than just being and existing.
Yes, and I was a very curious kid. I was a bad student. I never liked school. I was always making troubles in school. And
just a rascal.
Starting from mid-school, I was out of school. My family got me like teachers in the house. And I was like, I don't want to go to school. And they were like, fine, don't go to school. We agree with you. Like, school is a bad system. And in Syria, school was really bad system. I mean, everything is almost everything they teach. I mean, all schools like this. I don't like schools in general. I think schools are waste of time and energy for kids. I mean, they teach nothing there. I mean,
I can attest to that. I've been through both American and Turkish schooling, and it's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time. I mean, if the Western one, the American ones, you have all the violence and like the social indifference inside and racism and
like when you go to
that's
school
what they learn there. You know, like I do care about my son or daughter learn about mathematics, but I don't want them to learn that you can die in the school next morning. I mean,
well, yeah, exactly. Like, think about being the kid that has to go back to school when a shooting happened last week.
Yeah.
You know, think about that kid's psychology for a second. Yeah. You know, like, fuck. Like, I have to go back to this place? My friend died a week ago. Like,
I think about the other kid who saw this, and now all what he's thinking about is to have a weapon or to defend himself.
To be safe, right?
To be safe,
yeah.
Right? And on the journey for that's where you do mistakes, and that's where you become a criminal or you kill people. I mean,
very desensitized.
It's always there's justification why I'm doing something, and it's always that reason is legit. I mean, even the worst people ever, if you meet them, and if you meet them deep inside, they have a reason why they're doing what they did. I mean, no one is bad at the end of the day. We're all products of our circumstances, of our environment. You are the product of everything around you. And the worst person ever, there must be a reason why they were bad. And you dig deep and something happened to them. Or
there's some trauma sitting right there. Sure, but like, I still think it doesn't change their actions. The consequences of their actions have this sort of ripple, like butterfly effect of affecting everything that happens after that, you know? And I mean, that's probably life, and you can't really like prevent anything from happening in the way it is going to happen, because it's, you know, it's the way it is. But yeah, maybe like having better ways to look at education, which is, I think, I'm hopeful today because it's getting adopted. Like the new idea of like just watching videos to learn something and then applying it, and then just following things that you're interested in rather than just, you know, like all the four thing, like the maths and the language and the, you know, the pre-prepared. Like, we've been doing this like education thing for thousands of years. Maybe like going in a more organic approach, I think, is being adopted. Are you hopeful?
I'm hopeful because I see an example for that, like Krishnamurti schools. Krishnamurti himself and people around him, they made like amazing example for the future schools where they don't teach you anything there. There's no exam to take there. It's just a place to share with you knowledge and leave it up to you where you pick. You don't want to read about mathematics, you don't have to. I mean, anything you want there, but it's impressive because you look at them, all students, they're doing everything and they're studying everything and they're just curious and just like they just want to know more about things. And you ask yourself how this happened. I mean, and it's because they're free. There's no pressure on them or anything. I mean, I'm not interested in geography, for example. If I'm a kid, maybe later I can research it. It's not too late. I mean, this idea that you need to teach the kid everything when they're a certain age, I don't think it's the right thing. I mean, we can always learn about things later. I mean, I'm sure now you learn, I learn about things. I mean, all what you need is to be interested in it.
And I see this like lifelong learning thing being practiced in universities as like, I mean, learn as much as possible as soon as you can and get the job and to be another piece of the, like functioning whole big machine, and just make sure you do that, and don't really like care about the big picture of it. I think what's valuable with like doing a lot of things, like in this Krishnamurti schools like you're talking about, is like you get the bigger picture of the thing of life. And that in turn allows you to see how you can fit better, rather than just like go into one of these molds, pre-prepared molds. Oh, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer. So yeah, you're the first person who said that they didn't have a sort of idea of what they were going to be when they grow up. Fascinating. But let's talk about you right now then. In an ideal world, what would be your profession and what would be your dream lifestyle?
What I'm having now?
We're in it. This is the dream.
I mean, it's not a dream. I mean, it's I think what I'm happy at. I mean, I don't find a reason to think about something else. Like, yeah, I don't think anything else would mean more than this. I mean,
you're not much of a dreamer then, are you?
No, I don't dream.
Yeah, you just like paint.
Yeah, I don't even also know what I'm painting. I mean, I don't start from a sketch. I don't sketch. I don't have even a sketch in my mind. I mean, it's an open page, it's a blank page, the painting. The lines, they come themselves, texture, everything is experimental, and I don't have a deadline.
It's kind of like the hand pan.
It is like a hand pan, yeah. I mean,
okay, hand pan paintings. Hand paintings.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's been a while since I've known you, and I can back up everything that you said.
Yeah.
This is the dream.
It's not a dream. It's not like I'm not saying like my life is perfect and I don't have problems. Of course, I have many problems. I mean, if anything, I have war, and I have like the very like feeling of leaving where you grew up, and all the baggage comes from it. Also, I'm a normal person, of course. I mean, I get sick. I get financially not happy sometimes. I mean, I have all the fears and worries about everything, but I never looked at this as bad things or things shouldn't happen. I mean, it's coming. I mean, the storm is coming. If it's not your health, someone around you. If it's not health, financial. If it's not war or whatever, it's coming.
It's neutral.
Yeah, it's there. So dreaming about things, I think, personally, and I know many will agree with me or few, but I think our problem is the ambition, the dreams. It's okay, of course, to have like to have an abstract picture of what you want to be, but I don't think a real image, a real picture of what you want to be is good. Because if you have an abstract image of what I want to be or what this thing I want it to be, then every time you visit this image, you can interpret it differently. according to how much you're growing up, how much you're exposed to experiences in life. But if you have a realism picture, a painting of in your mind of what you want to be, then you're growing up and you're having new experiences, but you look at this image and it's so vivid and so clear, and it's not happening, of course, because it's very clear. You cannot plan for something that much clear, and then you get frustrated
because it's not the perfect match. So
Because,
you're going
yeah.
for the superposition when in reality, like when we even look at atoms, we don't really know exactly where they are. It's always like it's somewhere around here, you know, like we just give this area, this space that this atom might be, or maybe an electron might be. It's
yeah,
not
the
like
quantum thing. Yeah,
it's never like real, like it's never like so precise and like you can see it, but it's always like a possibility.
Well, speaking about possibilities and atoms, I mean, what's fascinating in quantum physics, that particles, like we know in Newtonian physics, that if you push them like an atom this way, it will go this way. I mean, there's only one chance. I mean, if I hit you now, if you're in front of me, if I hit you, you will go back. You're not gonna come to me, right? The force.
I mean,
But-
that's the familiar forces that we know.
That we know, but
Yeah.
beneath that, there's the quantum realm, where everything is possible there. That if I hit you, then you might. There's like few possibilities of what's gonna happen. There's no one answer, and every time I absorb you, you give me new possibilities, right? And it seems endless. It seems random, but it seems to our monkey mind, our Newtonian physics, but this is like thought. I mean, thought is like really random, and thought is life. I think I live because I think. It's all thought. And then when you don't wanna, when you start living life from this random abstract image, then I think things get easier in life. Then you don't have an image.
Then you don't have to be sad. I was talking to Sheila about this, having goals as opposed to having themes in life.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of when you New Year's hit, a lot of people have these resolutions. Oh, I'm going to lose this fat. I'm going to be da 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 da. It's like having these deadlines, and then a month in, 2 months in, they maybe like cut back a little bit, but like they then get to the failure point of like, I gotta do it, you know. But maybe like instead of that, just have like, okay, this year I'm going to like eat less theme, you know. So it doesn't really matter like what the number is, but if you just manage to eat I don't know, like more consciously compared to, you know, how you were eating unconsciously, it's a better way.
Or not to say this year, I mean, say like I'm gonna eat less of this, and just eat less of this, and don't say I will. I mean,
so don't have a clear image, but have a theme in your life where
Yeah,
you're more no smoker, Khaled, you know, like.
so I'm observing myself in this, and I was like, why I can't stop this, you know, like on the big things. I know how to play it on the big thing, but why when it comes to this stupid thing I can't do it? And the answer, what we just talked about, that the intention of like I wanna do it, I wanna become something, I will, like tomorrow I'll quit, like today is the last one, and tomorrow, you know, and because I'm doing that, probably I'm not.
Do you think it gives you inspiration in some way?
No, I think it's habitual.
Okay.
It's pure habitual, I think. Of course, if you mix it with other kinds of tobacco,
okay,
that
the
would,
wacky tobaccos.
yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of kinds of tobaccos. If you mix things together, sometimes they taste better.
Yes.
I mean, tobacco.
It's a stupid way for me to put it.
No, it's tobacco. I mean, let's say the things that alter your consciousness here. Tobacco is a very. I don't think it gives anything to you.
It just creates an urge to smoke another cigarette. That's what it does. It doesn't do anything more than that.
Yeah. Well, native Indians used it in their rituals. Yeah. Yeah, they smoke tobacco, and they just blow the smoke to the sky and to the clouds. Amazon tribes, remote tribes, they smoke tobacco since forever. There is an expedition of French scientists in Papua New Guinea in 60s. If you YouTube it, you find it. And then he go and he meets this remote tribe, and this tribe never ever seen a white man or never ever contact with anyone.
Aliens.
And this, like, you see the video is sick. Like the first half an hour, they're just trying to touch him.
Oh wow.
And to see, like, what is this? Like, is this real hair? And then after they accept him, they took him to their tribe, to their where they hang out there. And of course, he starts showing them mirror, and they got crazy, like, see themselves in the mirror. The clearest image of themselves, they see it on the river, but not the mirror, radio, etc. And then they wanted to show him what they have, and they offered him tobacco. They offered him a pipe with tobacco, and
the
you look
peace
at,
pipe.
yeah, it's like bizarre. I mean, like, this remote tribe, the only thing they offered him is tobacco. And later you see videos, every time he visit them, he get them like tobacco. He get them like cigarettes, not cigarettes.
You
they love it.
You want a cigarette, man?
So
here you got a pipe.
It must be something about this plant that we've been smoking it since like long time. I think what's dangerous now into the tobacco we use now, because it's easier, it's not as a ritual, it's very accessible, and it becomes like a filling thing. Like, you fill the gap with it. You fill the time, like, I'll see you after this cigarette, or I'll see you after that thing, and you can live a healthier life.
Absolutely.
With the understanding of this.
Absolutely.
You don't need to harm your body to understand it.
But people do regardless, you know. So, like, most of it is habitual, as you said. Like 99% of it is habitual. But it's like there's this 1%. I was reading somewhere that this Warren Buffett guy, this investor guy, drinks like 8 cans of Coke every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not dead yet, you know? So it's kind of like, if he gives him that much pleasure, you know, to do it, if you're really happy doing it, and if it's like singing to your soul, it's fair, do it, you know?
But it's happy now you're happy, but on the long term you won't be happy.
Well, he's like 80 years old. Like, that doesn't get longer than that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, what about this case? But in general, I mean, if you get pleasure, that doesn't mean happiness. I mean, you can get pleasure from many things in life, but happiness is a different thing. Yeah. Happiness is not something temporary. It's a state of mind you would be in. Because if you're drinking like 8 Cokes, or you smoke like a pack a day, 2 packs a day, and you continue doing that knowing that you're harming your body,
it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah, at some point you will, like, one day you're like, oh, what have I done? You know?
Yeah, you're like, shit.
And then because you can't do anything, you continue even more. It's like, okay, it's already destroyed, so let me finish it.
Right. And most people cannot afford what Warren Buffett can afford in terms of like physical, mental, and hospital treatments and shit. So
yeah, and all those hospitals also, they don't really work. I don't think they work on a psychiatry level. Of course, if you have something physical affecting your mind, but on a psychology, like, I don't believe in like psychologists. I don't believe in like the whole business of psychoanalysis. Like, I think it's a scam. It's like people, they're shy. Now people are educated. Now we are like advanced. We have space, and we are advanced, and we're shy. Now we don't want to go to gurus. We don't want to go to imams or religious people to tell us what to do. And we
got Google.
Yeah, right. We have Google. we invented what we call it science. Which is not in science. I think it's the same like archaeology is not a science. Of course you can discover like amazing monuments, and you can change history with your discovery, but still you cannot call yourself a scientist, because you deal with opinions, and opinions are not science. Science is based on experiments, something you see, touch, or you read as a data, numbers, or whatever. I mean,
it doesn't have opinions.
Whatever data, this is a science. I mean, you should get something from science.
Numbers don't lie. People do.
Yeah, but you tell me ego. Where have you seen that ego? Or where have you seen those 7 chakras or 12 chakras? Or where have you seen Jesus? Or where have you seen Muhammad? Where have you seen these people? They're all abstract ideas in your mind. You want to believe in them. And of course, you can find tons of scientific theories and hypotheses where you can just put them on them and say, oh, this is because of that. I mean, and it's unlimited what your minds can come up with. But still, And I respect whatever your mind can come up with, and we can talk about it, and we can explore it together, but not as a fact, not as a science.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's all ideas, and we're cliche writing machines at the end of it, because there's no. When I was in college, we were talking about there's no original writing, there's no original, art, because it's always influenced by some other art that comes before it somehow, and it's like it's through your filter, and it makes it original. In terms of like, okay, maybe it can't be like it's one of its kind, obviously, but like it takes roots in technique that was practiced before. It takes root in certain lines. It takes root in so they were arguing. One writer was arguing that there is no original art. Actually, it just comes from the past.
Well, there's nothing original. Not only art. There's nothing original. We always like borrow from nature. Everything. Everything is bits and pieces from everything around. Even art. I mean, every color I use is because I saw this color somewhere, whether in a documentary or on a beach or anywhere.
Somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah. And which color palette would be your favorite to work with?
I don't know. The one I haven't seen.
Yeah,
maybe. I think there's colors, like few colors we don't know about. I mean, yeah. But now what colors I have, I don't think about colors as one color. I think about colors as things together. So I don't think I have one color in my mind. Like any color in my mind can turn to a different thing. And I like texture, and with texture you can have multiple of colors together, where when you see them all together they make something. Right. And you can't not call it green or blue or red, because it's like 5-6 together making one thing, you see.
And it's like, okay, not necessarily just a still color, but like the transition between those different layers is what sort of makes it unique.
Yeah, it's like looking at tuna fish underwater. Like if you look at it, it's gray. Basically, the whole thing is gray, but it's unbelievable gray. It's like with every movement, because of fins, like the sun reflects somehow, and it's not gray anymore. It's bluish gray. It's like greenish gray, and but it's a gray. But depends on the movement. That's movement is because of the texture, because of the fins themselves. They reflect light.
So it's not just light itself, but it's also what contains the light, or like what bounces off the light.
It's what it's the matter itself, because light needs matter to exist. Without matter, light doesn't exist. Like if there's no planets or any matter in the universe, where will you see the light? The light has no surface to hit and to see it. I mean, the light would be just flying. Yeah,
dude. Without light, I can't imagine utter darkness. Is that what death is like? Just complete utter darkness? Is it the absence of light? Is what that lights out? Is that what death is?
As a science, as a fact, yes. The end is like a black, cold thing. Atoms will cease to exist. Everything will die in the universe. Like all these electrons will vanish. It's gonna be all dark matter. Nothing would be there. It would be pure nothingness.
But black is the color of knowledge also.
I don't know what is knowledge here.
I mean, in like knowing, like being aware of a fact or facts or everything or nothing.
Knowing is something, and awareness is another thing. I don't think awareness comes from knowledge.
No. Awareness just comes from experience.
Awareness just comes from being. I mean, you can't be aware with knowledge. And thoughts and knowledge cannot bring you awareness or mindfulness. You can read all the books and listen to all gurus and do all these postures, but that doesn't mean you will get there. I mean, you can have all the knowledge how to do it, but still you sit and you cannot do it. You may pretend, you may seem like you're doing it, but if you're not doing it, then it's because you're acting from a knowledge. I think awareness, like to be aware of things, is just to be. It's just like to look at things. I mean, like if you have a bad trip, let's say, and like I think the only way can get you out of a bad trip is just to be aware of the table in front of you, of the air, like aware of your finger, of the hair on your skin, of the noise around you. Then it's like, okay, I see, it's not bad. Yeah, just to be aware. And life is a trip.
Pretty much, isn't it?
It's an intense trip.
It's very. It feels long, but it's not that long. It's also very quick, but it doesn't feel quick in the moment.
It's relative.
It's very relative.
It's very relative.
If you're having fun, then it's going like, but if you're not having fun, it's kind of.
Yeah, and the best thing to do here, I think, is to be aware. To be aware of now, and things will be all right.
They generally do. They generally do turn out all right.
Anyways, it's all right. You know, anything happening is all right. Yeah, because there's no scale that you can go back and compare. I mean, if you compare your life scenario, like however bad your life is, if I give you the chance to replace it with another guy, another person with their own bad thing, you won't do that. You may say yes, but at some point, like, you know what? No, I know my problems. I'm familiar with them. I don't want to take this person's problem. Like, I prefer my problems, because you will understand that he or she also has a problem.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be all good. I mean,
no one's completely. I mean, life is suffering at one way or another, you know. So everyone's doing their own suffering.
It's an all like suffering life. I mean, this very moment we're sitting here, there are people dying because of hunger. The equipments we use now for like recording this can feed an entire village in Africa probably. And it's suffering. It's all suffering. And what shall I do? Shall I just like not own anything and just be like helping? What should I do? Like, and you understand that you can do nothing. I mean, you do in your circle, you do things around you, but you should understand life is suffering. It's all suffering. And
having a body alone itself, because you gotta feed it, you gotta put it to sleep, you gotta like give it, you know, hormonal like regulation, you gotta give it good food, you gotta satisfy the urges, you know, like sexual stuff, creative stuff as well. I don't know, that's the pinnacle of life, man. You gotta create shit.
Yeah.
That's why I really like to have this conversation with you, because it's just we're like fumbling around like with the idea of what does it mean to be human. I kind of feel like the mental workload that happens on like different things that you do, like, you know, copywriting, editing, like doing this, that, or like remembering, and the highest workload that you can put your brain in is to create. Like if you use it to create, that's the highest workload that you're using, like all your mental, you know, capabilities. So it's also a creator economy that we live in. It's a very storytelling economy as well. So that might be a temporary, you know, fix for the insufferable, you know, pain of existence.
To create.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we should all create. I mean, the problem now that we don't create anymore. Before, you used to go to your shop and you were a carpenter or like a shoemaker, or
everyone was doing something. It wasn't a job, it was just creation.
It was creation. I mean, like you see that person making a shoe, and it's like loving how you make it. In Syria, we go to the old bazaar there. And there is really old. I mean, in Turkey, in Istanbul, we have some areas they're still old, but there it's like the same family doing the same thing in the very same shop for like 6 generations. You're gonna go buy like spices, like this guy, like his grandfather was selling it from the very like from the very shop. Even he's using probably some tools like 100 years old.
Damn, dude, it's like heirloom, you know, like everything's like heritage, just like brought down.
It was like a very psychedelic city. Like it's like a space, like it's like traveling in a different dimension, seeing the walls and everything was like untouched, old, dirty, very chaotic, intense, but still very real. I mean, and you look at these people who create like stuff there, and they love what they do. because they go back home satisfied. Today I made the best plate, let's say, or the best shoe, or the best thing. But now you, of course, you go to office and you sit behind your desk and or home, and all what you do is like type letters on this box in your
Pretty
on your
much.
table.
Like, no matter how, like, what story you tell, it's like you said, you're just like slaving away, looking at the computer.
Just typing and getting like this, like red things, notifications, and I mean, you're not creating anything. Of course, you can be bringing water to a village in Africa behind your desk, but still you're not creating anything.
Yeah, no matter what story you're telling yourself to justify what you're doing in front of you, the task, it's not a creative task. Most of the world, the jobs that we have are not creative.
Yeah.
It's
and to be creative, I mean, you don't need to have it in a professional way. I mean, you can still type those emails, and you can still do this like boring job, but you can create. Meanwhile, you can cook. I mean, you can create a good meal. You can create a good sketch on your book. You don't want to paint. There's tons of things you can create. It doesn't need to be traditional way. It doesn't need to be like I need to take a course in painting or course in music or course in that. I mean, do it your own thing. I mean, just play with it. You know, just play.
The thing they say about making money from art is just a capitalistic lie. You don't need to make money from art. I mean, if you want to live only doing art, unfortunately, we live in a time where you need money. So, like, you kind of need to have money from your art. But you can still do your day job, and then, like, in the rest of the time, you should just focus on creating events for people, or, like, creating food, like you said, creating experiences. I don't know, like creating vibrations, creating brushstrokes.
I think it's almost impossible. I don't think it's possible to make money from art. I think money comes when you do art, but you cannot decide to make money from art. It doesn't work like this. It's not like a pizza shop you open and you have a business plan and it's gonna be alright. I'll make money at the end of the month. You can't make. I can't say like I will be an artist and I will sell like this amount of paintings a year and I will make money from. Impossible. You should do it. You should just do it, enjoy it, and then money will come. If you do it, if you really do it and really enjoying it and really do it from inside of your heart, you will make something unique. And if you make something unique, someone somewhere will appreciate it. And money is just a tool to say I appreciate it.
Exactly. Today, it's like hold value. Like it's, I heard money being described as like it's represents value basically. It's like in money. Like there's like inherent value. So when someone asks you, how much for this piece? Is that a good question to hear as an artist?
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I talk about money, and if someone wants to buy something, they ask me that price. I mean, they assume that I don't like to talk about money, and they assume that it's like. But I always say, no, I want to have more money, of course. I want to have more brushes and more paintings and more like canvas, and I want to bigger paintings, have a bigger studio. I want to have more money to produce more simply, I mean. And those paintings and the art is generating this. And of course I will not feel bad if someone asks me how much is this. I mean, yeah, but I don't like when people bargain. Which also I don't mind when people try to get a better price, because we all try to get, but some people they go too far with this, you know. They go too far and they start bargaining with you. And here where it's like it's not for sale anymore.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you lost a chance, buddy. Like,
yeah, it's not about chance. It's about like the appreciation like of what you're gonna purchase here. I mean, I think when you buy a piece of art, if you're buying it not for investing, because secondary market exists and people they invest in that, but if you're buying it for yourself, then it's a big thing. It's a big thing, you know, to hang something in your house. You pay lots of money for it, and you're gonna see it all the time. It's a big decision. I mean, it's a very big decision to have. Emotional decision, financial decision. Above all, it's not a priority. You can live without it. I mean.
So what do you think about auctions? Do you think auctions are just rich people for rich people to just spend their money and just feel good about themselves?
I mean, art auctions, I mean, of course, I mean, everyone will spend money to feel better. But auctions are two types, I think. There are the auctions like business auctions, and there are auctions for like private collections. Of course, I mean, if you're putting Rembrandt painting on sale, if I have money personally, I would do my best to get it. But if you put me Damien Hirst, I won't get it even at low price. I mean, or Andy Warhol.
It's all relative.
It's all relative to the person. I mean, I think auctions they ruined the idea of what is art by giving a chance to cooperative world, like companies to play a financial game in the name of art by creating names, like just putting money, PR, just creating names, and most of those artists never made money. I mean, if you look at like the most celebrated artists now, some of them, they never made money, they never seen this money. I mean, it was all business.
It's kind of like banks at this moment, right? Like just taking control of like the flow of things and just saying, hey, like I'm controlling the flow, you know, like you should be thankful, like because I'm doing this. But like, was it really necessary for you to do all that? Auction houses? And
even those houses, those artists, sorry, I mean, they were not happy with that. It's not only auction houses we're talking now. I mean, the whole arts game, the whole like institution, making it big and shiny, and that disturbed artists. You look at like Roscoe, I really respect his experience, or Pollock. You look at their life, intense life, and to get to the point that you throw paint on the floor, or Roscoe to do this like very like earthy, or I don't know what to call it, his colors and his squares. I mean, to get to that point, you cannot but to respect them. But they use this idea, auction houses or galleries or museums, they turn it to a business, the same way they're turning now all art to a business. And eventually those artists, they were not happy in their life. They were not happy as artists themselves. And they took their life. I mean, Roscoe killed himself, Pollock killed himself, and there are lots more. I mean, they were not satisfied because they felt that they failed as artists. They didn't succeed. Like, the whole world is celebrating their experience, but they put them in a corner that they were caught in their experience. It was a tremendous pressure on them that if they move from a society will crash them.
Well, it's the artists who really pick up on what's going on, since like they're so empathetic. I feel like, did you watch Banksy's documentary? There was this one guy in there who was like filming.
Yes, I did. Yeah,
the crazy
movie
guy.
He did.
Yes, that guy. That guy was also like a micro level like thing that's happening.
Was he French?
He was a French guy.
Yeah,
he was a French guy.
Very stupid guy.
Extremely stupid guy.
Naive, stupid. I mean, and what he came up with was like
just stealing,
garbage.
Basically. Stealing other people's work and not really working on anything himself, and just like change the colors basically.
And he did like this thousand of shots together with the second sequence between them. It's like you can't watch it. It's like it disturbs your eye. Like the movie he did at the end, you can't watch it. It's like thousands of videos he took. It's
like a crazy mad person's like diaries, you know?
Yeah.
But he made a lot of money from selling clothes because that's what he was good at.
Yeah. But that shows you how naive we are. How naive we are. Like we just follow whatever they. Yeah. I mean, we're not patient. I mean, we're not.
That's why I'm saying like art should be protected from this kind of the very fact that like it's people are expected to make money off of art. I'm kind of feeling like no, that's just a lie, man. Like art should be appreciated for what it is. Like it's not, when you attach monetary value to it, it can go to extremes. I mean, ideally, we'd be living in a world where it's only a creator's economy and like we only have creative jobs. And that's eventually where we're going, but it's going to take some time.
Have you watched Waking Life? Yes. Yeah, there's this chapter, like a scientist talking to him, and he was talking, that scientist telling him about the how the paradigm of evolution is getting shorter, and how it took us like thousands of years between agriculture uh, to the industrial revolution, and then
Yeah. The extreme acceleration.
then less technology, and it's gonna get less and less and less till it manifests itself in your lifetime, and that's the he was talking about the merge of technology and human and the nano-human.
Yes.
And once this happens, all values will change. Love will replace hate. Greed won't be there, because resources will be different. We will not be fighting on this. I mean, we will be busy. And I think I add on that, like now the new discovery of minerals on comets and planets. I think once we open that door, limitless energy, and we don't need to fight here anymore. We don't need to like wipe out like forests just to take the uranium under it. We can just shoot a missile up there and mine a comet full of uranium.
That's not until like super soon. Like we still have to like build a system to like retrieve it and take it back and all that. But what's closer is nuclear energy. But there is the human error side of what we're thinking, and it's kind of like, here, I can give you a stand, by the way.
It's okay. There's the fusion one, the new one, the nuclear. There's the one they tested like a few months ago, last year probably. They made a mini sun.
Wow, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, it's like the same way the sun is working. Because the nuclear energy is like splitting atoms, but the new one is like putting them together.
So there's a lot of people making money off of this whole energy stuff. So I think that's another reason why we're not using nuclear. Not just because we can mess it up. We got like nuclear weapons, for fuck's sake. Why aren't we using the nuclear energy anyway?
Well, I think there is risk even if you use it for peaceful purposes, because you never know what will happen like on a climate level. And you always there's risk there. Things can go wrong.
Yeah, but Mother Nature's always fine, right?
Yeah, but now we care about ourselves, not Mother Nature. I mean, as we said before, like it's not about like I want to save the planet. The planet, like the reason why there are like white polar bears is because of climate change, because of snow, and the lighter ones were able to hunt, and
Right.
the deers.
It's evolution,
They
basically.
became white. I mean, that's the reason. It started with a tragedy.
Yeah.
This beautiful white birds. The whole thing started with a tragedy. So, Earth will adapt. I mean, new species can come here, and it's been billions of years running, and that's why I think we lose the argument when we try to tell people save the planet. No, don't save the planet. I agree
I'm just
with you.
saying, just
be
like,
selfish.
Stop fighting.
No, I tell you, be selfish. Don't save the planet. Be as selfish as you are now, and just understand. It's like if you want to really be selfish, not like a child is selfish, like you are now throwing plastic in the ocean. Right. I mean, if you're really, really selfish, I mean, you will understand that if I put plastic in ocean, then it's my ocean. Then my kids will suffer. Then I will suffer. Then you will stop doing that.
Yeah, that's the real selfishness, right?
That's the real selfishness.
Yeah.
That's the positive selfishness.
Ultimate selfishness.
Yes, do it.
But another thing I was listening to, same Alan Watts guy, was talking about the two things people should try before they die. One, think about their own death, and two, be utterly selfish. And then he actually went on to, elaborate like the way you did, where like you're so selfish to a point where you do not accept harm in any conceivable way to not yourself, to not your further generations, and that just requires like conscious, aware living. That it doesn't come from knowledge, but it comes from just having like looking at the other whatever it is, and just really being that, like saying like, okay, like I could have been this, I could have been that. Like really like take a step away from who you think you are, and just entertain the Rick and Morty alternative, realities of it all, It could have been anything. It could have been like literally anything.
And Rick is a very selfish person.
Yes.
He's a selfish scientist.
Yes, yes.
And selfish we can look at this word in a different way also. Selfish is like maybe loving the self, understanding the self, understanding who you are and where you want in life, and understanding your position, and then you become selfish. I think selfish can mean something good. It's not always like you are this bad person who don't care about people. I think if you care about people, you can be a selfish, caring person, because you're very selfish. You love yourself, and you want to live in peace, and you want to live in this Zen frequency. And this is this loving myself, and because I love myself, I chose love as a vehicle in this karma.
Totally.
And I just ride it, and I just like touch everyone around me with it, and eventually I will feel good. And if you ask me, I'm happy because I love myself, and this is the selfishness I called for.
And if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love anybody else?
Yeah.
That's RuPaul.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Rick and Morty and some other artists and all these influences. Do you have like a particular maybe artist that you have that you're influenced by, or artists, or I don't know, like?
I like some experiences, but I can't say I'm influenced or inspired by any artist. No, I mean, I find my inspiration in nature. Yes, I'm big time inspired by it. I mean, I love nature. I mean, I think it's very romantic. I mean, I have moments with sunrise and sunset. I think the sky and clouds they're the best painting ever. I mean, I can't think about any artwork more beautiful and fulfilling and satisfying than a sky full of these clouds and lights. Like the light and the colors is all the time. It's abstract, but you can feel the order there. This is very inspiring. I mean, colors. You look at fish, like this, like coral reef fish. You see like this vivid green with like red with blue. You see colors together that you have never thought that they can exist together. You never thought that these tones of colors can exist in nature together. Tuna fish, I mean, you look at all this gray fish, like very solid gray, and by the end it's like this phosphor green, shining.
Yeah. Well, it has like this gradient sort of like transition between like different shades of gray.
Yeah.
A lot of shades of gray.
So this is my inspiration. It's only there. I respect other people's experiences. Or not respect, it's not the word here. I appreciate some people's experiences. I love some artists. Van Gogh for me is like is something very special. He's a very special artist for me. Rembrandt I like. There's American photographer Charles Peter Whitkin.
Well, yeah, I think my follow-up question was like, I want you to continue talking about these people because I was going to say like, what are some artists that people should know about,
Yeah, I think Charles Peter Whitkin is if we talk about photography, he did like a unique experience. He worked with corpses.
Oh, corpses.
He go to university and he kicked them
like
out.
Cadavers.
They kicked them out later. I mean, but
it's like I had this coming.
He put like this sliced head. Like he has this work called The Kiss.
Okay.
I remember. It's like the same head. It was sliced. He said in an interview he never sliced
like
it.
how? Like
Sliced
in the middle?
In the middle.
Oh god.
And then he put it in a position. It felt like it's kissing, like two people kissing, but it's not two people. It's the same face, but he sliced and he let the face kiss itself.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And his flowers around it. It's always black and white. His works, or it's rarely sepia colors. And you see, I see the kiss.
I want to see. I want to experience the kiss.
And it's like sick picture. And
what was the artist's name again?
Joel, Johel, I think. Peter Whitkin.
There you go.
Yeah, he did something very unique. Yeah, this one. It's like.
All right.
He used like legs. just a leg, and he put flowers in the leg.
Damn, okay, that's an old man kissing itself. I think they used it in some music album covers. Some death metal. Yeah, that is a very fascinating piece. So damn, it's like a head sliced right down the middle of the fucking head and like stuck onto somewhere, and then he just took a shot of that, and there's like flowers and shit. Oh my god. This is the most metal shit I've seen in my life.
Yeah, you can check other works also. Yeah. He has a very romantic death work, and for me, him is the best example of like finding beauty in death. Because if you listen to his interviews, I think he has kids and he's married. Yes, I know, and he has kids, and he looks like a very sane person. He doesn't look like some psychopath doing things. He looks like a nice dad. Yeah, it's like nice person. Van Gogh is one of my favorites. Rembrandt, Hoblin. Contemporary artists, I don't have much. I'm not following much. I can tell you what artists I don't like.
Yeah, I do tell me those two, because I think that's important as well.
I mean, people like Jeff Koons style and the whole business of like just putting anything on the floor and writing like 10 pages next to it explaining what is that and call it art. I mean,
explaining it is generally like, especially when I ask about like, oh, like, is there a hidden message here? Oh, what is this? It's like, you never like tell me any, like, I've never heard you explain any of your paintings to me. It's just like, yeah, we're just looking at it together. Oh, like, there's this detail here. Oh yeah, like there's a similar detail over here. It's like, oh shit, okay, is there a hidden meaning behind this? No, man. Like, I just did this, you know? Like, it just happened. Kind of like Bob Ross. Happy mistakes. Do you like Bob Ross?
I mean, he's a funny guy. I wouldn't call him an artist. I mean, personally, I mean, or sorry, I take this back. I would call him an artist, but I wouldn't call what he does as art. I mean, you can be an artist, but it's not necessarily what you do is art. I mean, you can have this artist spirit, like, but you can lack the talent. And I think Bob Ross, he lacked the talent of turning off what he learned and what he's teaching, and he was caught in those scenes he's teaching. I mean,
but I think what he was trying to achieve with his art was like just to like share, you know, and like help people like maybe like pick up something.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I think art is a very selfish thing. Like you should not care about any. I don't paint to make people happy. I don't make to make people feel good or. I don't paint for anyone. I paint for myself.
So what are you hoping to achieve with your art then?
Nothing. I'm just like.
There's nothing to achieve. It's just free.
It's nothing to achieve. It's like eating. It's like if I don't do it, I can't. It's like I can't help but doing it. It's nothing I can achieve. I have hopes, of course. I hope to make more money so I can make more art. But eventually, it's for the sake of it. I don't. It's not a.
So it's art for the sake of art. Art for not the sake of human.
Of living.
Yeah. Not for art for the sake of humans.
No, of course not. I mean, I don't care if people say I don't like it. Of course you won't like it. I mean, because I'm not expecting everyone to like it. Same way I'm not expecting everyone to like Syrian food. I mean, it's fine if you don't like spicy stuff. But if you come to me and say, I like this, I connect with this, that's make me really happy. Yeah. That means that we both speak in the same language. That means like, I mean, I communicate with you through a language that we both enjoy using. And this is for me really fun, and this is very rewarding in the process of doing it. But it's never a plan, or it's never like in the front.
Right. So it's just like randomly, like not random, but like if someone happens to appreciate it, it just makes your day. But like you don't necessarily try to be appreciated. You just do what others can't do. You just do you, and then some people are like, wow, and you're like, right? Like, exactly, wow, right? Like, and you're like, yes.
Without thank you, like when someone say, I love your painting, I mean, it's like, I don't say thank you. Yeah. Why I should thank you? Yeah, exactly. And there's no reason in my mind. Like, I thought about it a lot when I see friends say thank you for things. Like, why thank you? I mean, yeah, you love it, right? Yeah, I love it too. It's really nice. Isn't it nice? Isn't it? I mean, like because it's for me. I'm detached from it. I mean, after I make it, it's of course I have this sense of satisfaction when I look at it, but I never look at it like from an eye that I did it. I never thought about it like it's like I did it. It's like I did the best.
You're kind of like Khaled. Do you know this fighter, Habib Nurmagomedov?
Yes, I got into this. I remember you by that. I never.
He's like, not me up there. Like I'm just channeling him, man.
Yeah, I never liked Violet, but Instagram kept pushing me like Habib and McGregor. What's his name?
Conor.
Conor
McGregor.
Guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's okay, fine. And then I surrendered. I was like, I want to check these things. And you know, like I like checking stuff sometimes. Like I want to do it like the right way. So I was like, before I go to kickboxing, before I go to kickboxing, I went like, what do I know about fighting in general? It's like I know Tyson. This is the name in my mind. It's like let me see Tyson, and then I go YouTube Tyson, and the first thing I see the five matches that Tyson lost. I was like, this is a nice idea. I want to meet Tyson. And by the way, like I never watched anything
fighting related
or Tyson.
Oh, okay.
Fighting. So I have no idea about Tyson as a fighter. I see him in media. So I was like, I want to meet Tyson, the one who lost, not the one who won. And then I watched his like this short video, and then I found about like a fight with what was his name? Like he beat him twice. There's a guy who bit his ear at the end.
It always escapes me my mind too. Let's see.
Dude, you gotta find it because he is I think the guy. I mean, he's more scary than Tyson.
Really?
Then I watched this and then I go Holyfield.
No, Holyfield.
Holyfield, yeah. Holyfield.
Yes, Evander
Holyfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like unbelievable. Damn. Holyfield beat him the first time, then that's why he wanted to fight him the second time. And the last look at me, I'm talking like a pro now.
Pro athlete. Ain't no wannabe, man.
Probably the only.
Oh, look at this picture of them like hugging each other though.
Oh, later, yeah.
Yeah. They made peace. Yeah.
They're in peace, yeah. He freaked him out. Holyfield.
He really freaked him.
Like he bit his ear. He bit his ear because he was terrified, Tyson. The second round, Holyfield was all over him, and Tyson had no way but to bit his ear and just be dismissed. Otherwise, he would have humiliated him.
His ears look fine in all these pictures. Maybe since he made some money off of it, he just got his ears fixed.
When he fought Tyson, he had $150 million in his bank account.
Oh, okay.
He was already rich.
He's
and his wife was a pain specialist. He got married with a pain specialist. So he was trained by a professional to handle pain, and he was already rich. He doesn't care about money.
That's a good idea. I had climber friends who date people with physiotherapists, you know? So it's all in one package, you know?
Yeah, it's nice to have someone take care of you physically. It's expensive. Physiotherapy is expensive.
It's extremely expensive.
Yeah.
My mom's doing it every day, and it's she waited for a year and a half. Mm-hmm. So they only go through public health care, my parents, and they got a reservation for a year and a half advance. They would have to wait in line to get physio there. It's really expensive.
Because they don't consider it a must.
No.
Still, it's considered kind of a luxury area of medicine. Yeah. But I think it's a must because sometimes it can cure you.
Not sometimes. I think your body is your temple, and to access the mind, you really need to keep the body in check. And that's why I think we're lamenting the fact that we smoke cigarettes, right? Mm-hmm. It's we know that it's not, the temple is how we access the mind, the body. You put good food in it, you move, you exercise, you stretch. But once you do the bad to your body, then your body's like, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that, man? Your lungs are like, come on, man, just put it down.
It will show you when you climb a hill.
Yeah.
It's you see, I told you, don't smoke.
Dude, when weeks I do more than usual, I feel it when I'm doing practice, rolling around. Even with kids have this energy that's like atom bombs, Yeah. Oh, they're so fast. Even heavier people, you and me wrestle, you're at least 15 kilos heavier than me. So it would be extremely difficult for me to push you off, So I roll with guys your size every week, And once I have one too many cigarettes, then I'm like, oof, like I'm short of breath. You definitely feel it. So, why do you make this type of art and not other? Like, I'm talking about canvas and like the material that you use.
I did other. I started with photography, then I did mixed media.
Oh, then tell me more about those. I don't know that. I know you're a good photographer, but I didn't know that you actually did.
It was not photography in the traditional meaning of photography, because I was manipulating the picture, I was adding stuff on it, and I was scanning, I was printing the picture, adding texture, whatever I want, and scan again and repeat the process a bunch of times, and edit stuff digitally, just adjust things. And then I moved to scanning fish completely. I put fish on the scanner and I put liquids and I scanned. And that's a very dear series. Like, I really like this phase of me. Yeah. I never had the chance to show it though.
You did. I saw it in the NFT.
Yeah, I have them NFT on Foundation. I have them in a group shows, but I never had the chance to show it as a solo.
Ah, okay. Together. I see.
Yeah.
Like all the pieces.
Yeah. Because after that, I did other things, and they got more popular, or they got exposure, and then I kept.
So you lost track of the.
Yeah, I kept pushing that stuff, and this kind of they got lost in the middle.
Let's see. And so maybe they'll resurface.
They will one day. Fish. I'm 100% sure. I mean, it's a very I think important way of looking at life personally for me, because I was going through hard time and I just dropped all traditional ideas and I wanted to start like something new on a personal level. And that fish project, I called it I Stopped, I Saw, and it was the reflection of.
Say that again.
I stopped, I saw.
I stopped, I saw. Okay.
And it was a reflection of what I was going through. Yeah. And after that, I got into painting. I did paint when I was a kid, when I was like 7 years old, probably. Okay. My dad is a painter.
Okay, that's where it comes from.
He's a professional painter. It's his profession since we were kids. He studied art. So we grew
up. Keep forgetting that we always have this conversation, but we're just like actually having it for the first time on the microphone.
Yeah.
You were saying you were going to feel the microphone, but have you felt it?
No, I said physically I'll feel it, and probably it will disturb a little bit, but no, I don't feel it now. I mean, yeah.
I mean, so far the conversation's kind of like the kind that we would have together anytime, but I kind of forget that we have an audience.
Yeah. I mean, the audience is with us all the time, I feel like also. Yeah. I mean, what is an audience? I mean, it's me and you, right? I mean, whoever listening to us now, they're just putting themselves in our position, and we put themselves in their position, and we all, I think, just exchanging roles. But at the end of the day, we all cry the same. We all have the very same feeling of happiness, cry, anxious, greed.
Yeah, we go through the same range of emotions.
Yeah, all of us. I mean, when we watch a movie, we like ourselves in the movie. That's why we like watching a movie. We like follow like people, influencers or stars or musicians, because we always imagine ourselves like in their shoes, putting ourselves in their shoes. And some of us feel shame, not shame a little bit doing that, or silly, like, oh, I'm dreaming too much. But no, you can't do that, because we're all one. I mean, you could be that person, and it's legit to think about.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the drive to follow through with the image that you create for yourself or the image that you follow, you can be an influencer. You can be
No, I'm saying that, I mean, it's legit when you watch a movie to imagine yourself in that person.
Of a hero.
Yeah, a hero. You can imagine yourself as a hero for a little bit. I don't think you're a hero, because maybe you're not. I mean, maybe you're not that guy who saved. It's not everyone will invent penicillin. I mean,
don't you think that's why actors get paid the most, though? Because they put you in a state where you can imagine, sometimes maybe just for a few seconds at least, but like they put you in a mental state where you feel like you're that, like they put you out of your existence.
That's why I think acting as a profession is popular, because it fulfills this this play in your mind that I can be this person.
Yeah. Pretending.
Even when you listen to someone, I mean, you listen to someone. I mean, if you're really listening, you should put yourself in their shoes. I mean, if you're really listening. But if you listen from your position, then you're not gonna listen. You can hear them, but it's not like listening to them. I mean, if someone tell me a new idea, I don't try to. I always try to not act from where I am now. Like if you tell me about aliens, if you saw aliens somewhere, I would listen to you and then tell you like probably it's not right or right. You know, I won't listen to you from a person who researches things and who really knows that there's no alien in science and stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to take you seriously when you have that handpan right next to you that looks like a UFO.
Yeah.
But I do love that the frequency that it creates is like very it puts you in a very calm mood. You know, it's kind of like the bowl that you were talking about, the Tibetan bowl.
Yeah. It's a handmade machine, so instrument. So it must have the same like effects of the Tibetan bowls. Yeah. The same concept. The hammering.
Ting 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 ting. Oh. I'm gonna turn your levels up right now, real quick.
We can continue. Can we continue talking like this?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, I do hear your voice a little bit more in the distance.
I can bring the mic here, or
Yeah, that's fine.
it's fine.
Let me ask you a light question.
Ask.
What's one piece of advice that you received that helped you with your creative pursuits?
My dad told me once that pick up something that you don't feel like you're working. Like you feel like you're playing. You wake up in the morning and you don't feel like you need to work. You say like if you
Like the
wanna
carpenter.
anything. You say if you want to pick up anything, you should pick up something that you don't feel you have to do it. Just you wake up and you just do it.
Yeah, it's just out of like you already want to do that and you don't expect any sort of livelihood to come through that. You just do it for the sake of doing it, and not because someone else told you to do it, or not because how much of the things that you're doing are your idea originally, and how much of it are you being, swayed?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I started that I don't believe in psychotherapy and psychoanalysis. Because how much is really what you're going through, and how much is the books that person read and sitting with you in front of you trying to apply what they learned in university on you. And what they learned in university is books written by people. And those people, they had their own traumas. And it is wrong to compare this to a doctor when you say like a doctor can be sick and perform a surgery. No, this is different because we can see the heart. We know every bit and piece of the heart, but we never seen the ego. We never seen the self itself. I mean, so
yeah, these are just concepts.
Yeah, if now you admit that Freud is not the best person to listen to, so how can you guarantee to me that in 50 years you won't also say like, oh, whatever I'm talking about 50 years ago also was not good, was not right? How do you guarantee that for me? I mean, now you're telling me that you figured it out, and those Freudian...
How do we not know that 50 years from now we're going to have a completely different idea and way of thinking that will diminish everything that we know about science now?
Yeah. Maybe we'll discover different source of emotions, not through ego, through quantum physics maybe.
Or like the absence of emotions and just like the existence of facts and just numbers and possibilities.
So people go to a therapist and they tell you, oh, you're going through this because you have this and that. I mean, who are you, to tell me this? Based on what? Of course, sociology is important. The study of the mass is important because, again, we are all one. You don't need to study us. Like, if you study us individually,
as if you study us like on a collective level. So you can get a general idea of what driving us. But I don't think if you're getting through a divorce, you should go to a therapist. I mean, you should just sit home and accept that you will feel bad a little bit, and it'll be all right.
The sun will come up.
Yeah, if you lose your dad tomorrow or your son, I mean, you don't need a therapist. I mean, you need someone to tell you that's just sit and just sit with it. And that it can tell this person can tell it to you once or twice. You don't need to go years to therapy and pay all this money. They make tons of money. Like I have friends that lose their salary on therapists, and they're still anxious.
The best kind of therapist is kind of like the one that is your friend, though, I feel like. And it's hard to find a therapist that it can be your friend. But, like, sometimes you go in and say, like, you know what? Like, I think, like, I've had enough help. Thank you so much for all of you've done. And, like, I really appreciate it. And, like, the good therapist will say, like, I'm so happy that you say that, you know? Like, let me know if you need anything, and they just send you off. Like, they don't make you stay. But it feels like a lot of therapy being practiced today is, like, making sure that the client stays. You know, it's, like, out of money. And it's, like, it's not even, like, it's solving any problems.
And I don't think anyone can help you. I mean, I think, yeah, they can show you where the door is, and you can open it, and you don't need like 50 sessions of someone to show you where the door is. I mean, at all. I mean, the door is very easy. I mean, it's just be with it and just feel it. If you have some psychotic problem, then it's totally different. If you can't, like one time I had depression.
Maybe just apply your dad's advice of like just pick up something for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. One time I had depression. I had a stomach problem. And my doctor gave me painkiller, and he told me take it every day. Yeah. Or I thought I should take it every day. I don't remember. However, I traveled, and I was taking it every day, once in the morning, once at night. And after 20 days, I found myself crying, not being able to move from my bed. And I don't know what's happening. Like, I don't have no idea why I'm crying. I lost the energy.
God, like, so all your hormones are just whacked out, you know?
Suddenly, like, I stopped eating. I lost 10 kilos. I mean, and then it took me like 2 weeks to discover that this medicine I was taking, it makes depression if you take it every day. You should not take it every day. Only when you have pain. Effects. Only when you have pain you take it, not every day. Maybe it had codeine inside of it. I don't know what it had. But I experience what depression is. It's a physical thing. It's not something like I feel bad.
No.
It's a physical force.
It's not a thought. It's
it's not like a thought. It's something so real. Like you can't move.
Like your neurons are just fucking.
And then here you need someone specialized in this. Someone to tell you that it's not your mind. It's your body is affecting your mind. And here you need a psychiatrist. You need a doctor who studied psychology. Who can perform on you from a doctor point of view, not from someone just wanted to go to university and read Freud and a few books and then act in society as if they have the enlightenment and they can heal you, and the way they do it is like, no, I'm not healing you, I'm just showing you the way.
The false prophets.
Can't you show me the way in a cheaper price? I mean.
Personal trainers are good for that.
Yeah, I mean,
get a fucking move on, man. Like, do some exercise.
Go swim.
Yeah, go swim. Go swim.
Seriously, I mean, you don't need to put this money on therapy. Just go swim, or take this money and go to a mountain and just be with yourself and cry there. I mean, feel miserable in the middle of the mountain. Nature.
Maybe you want to take that thing off of the, because I get a lot of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, just take it off. Much better.
I'm sorry. You should have warned me, man.
I know, but I didn't want to ruin the moment.
Cool.
So another question I have is, what keeps you going even when you don't feel like doing all this painting, living, and so we talked about depression and like you've experienced that too. On a day-to-day basis, because we're privileged people. I feel like we're a very lucky bunch. You were talking about how lucky you are to have your parents and the way you were brought, and like experiences over here. I can't thank my parents enough for the way they brought me up so that I can, have a conversation and broadcast it. So what keeps you going every day?
life keeps me going every day. People in my life, the love keeps me going every
People.
day. I mean,
Mhm.
life for me is love, and love is the force that keeps me going. I mean, because I love many people around me,
And I think
and-
it's reciprocated. A
and
lot
I
of people
feel,
like you.
I feel their love. I mean, and I feel how much also they love me, and it's, I should be there for them, I think, and they should be there for me, because I mean, this is what love is. I mean, and also you go from that circle to another circle, a wider circle, and it's animals and nature, and then you go to a wider one. It's like the cosmos, and that's like this tremendous event taking place while we're having this podcast. Stars are crashing, supernovas, and we're just sitting here talking about this like life,
Yeah.
our life. But this is a crazy event, and this event is what I think makes me go and keep going and drive me. I mean, I can't stop. I think I feel really sad when people end their life. I feel sad and stupid, like how stupid you were to end your life. Like, wait a second. Like,
Yeah.
it's not.
Think about it.
It's like, think about it. It's like, just a second. I mean, ask someone, like, ask for help. Don't feel ashamed for ask for help. I mean, don't be stupid by just being like, I'm not gonna ask anyone for help. You go ask someone because you're ill, right? I mean, you have apparently you have something there, and this ego that you can solve it, and the way to solve it is to end it. It's very stupid. I think there's many
Ask-
ways to solve it. No.
Ask is something very important, I think. Ask. Because a lot of people aren't aware that their neighbor loves them, you know, because they don't ask. And like, we're such an atomized society right now where like everything we order is through our phones and our computers, and like we never leave the house. We surviving COVID. Like, I was gonna ask you like how your art changed after COVID, but like we're like a generation of humans who has survived just being in their houses, you know, for like day in, day out.
But
So-
even though there are many people love you, I mean, even if you feel alone and no one around you, believe me, there are someone who loves you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
Your
wanna-
neighbor loves you.
And I want you to be here, and we'll help you. I mean, just ask for help, and don't just don't buy that story that we are just individuals. I don't like this individualism. I mean, this, they raise you that you should be individual, you should be strong, you should survive alone. I mean, and you should make it your own.
Autonomy.
Yeah, I mean, this is not real. It's unreal, because if you are like, I survived war and I'm surviving war, and you cannot survive alone.
Well, of course not. Even in the sense that they say like, oh, like be the winner, like be the achiever, like be the self-made millionaire. There's no millionaire without a team.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, you're someone with a team. You're nothing by yourself. You're
Someone
literally
on their
nothing.
journey, someone helped them.
That's it.
It's this one. It was just not them. I mean, someone on their journey, someone gave them a push or helped them.
There was other people involved. They didn't.
Yeah.
It's not self-made. You
Yeah.
know, it's like
Yeah.
a communal. It's like the old world gets a lot of hate for the like collective thinking, like Asian and like Middle Eastern and like Eastern. And we have the same mentality of like, we're together, like better together. You know,
Yeah.
this new individual way of approaching life is just a way to keep people divided and like less powerful, you know, like divided we fall, like Pink Floyd. Like, we've all been talking about it, like everyone's trying to convey it in their arts or their like tweets or their NFTs,
And the more we're divided, the more we're depressed.
that's also
The
true.
more we're depressed. I mean,
That's also true.
look at Japan. I'm fascinated by their culture. I love their Zen way of living. But you look at their culture there, and they have this very peaceful, from the bonsai tree to their pottery to the everything, the calligraphy, every detail like symbolize the whole existence. And it's very spiritual, very deep. And you look at their suicide rate. It's one of the highest.
Extremely high.
It's one of the highest in Asia, and if not in the world. And like, how this happened? How this happened? I don't have the answer.
Scandinavia.
I don't have the answer. I mean, it's very interesting thing. I'm just going around these days, like, how can this happen? You become very spiritual, very connected in a real way, not in a cheesy way, because you can feel the power of their connection in their art and their lifestyle.
So maybe if like when life and death, the divide between life and death is so fine, the line between it is so thin that it doesn't really matter at that point. But once you're like connected to the matrix, like you're just like feeding yourself Instagram every day and McDonald's, you know, like you don't really care about, like dying is like, oh, you know. But once you grapple with death a lot, they have that, you know, hierarchy culture, like they have suicides, like mass suicides. When they fail a mission, some soldiers just like,
yeah, the kamikaze. I mean,
yeah, the kamikaze,
the big example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I don't know about the death thing, because I look at Indians, for example, the Hindu. I mean, they exist with death. By the river, they burn.
They love death.
Yeah, they burn corpses and they swim next to pieces, legs and skulls, and they celebrate it. For them, death is like, I don't know, like going to a wedding. I mean, it means nothing for them. I mean, of course, they cry, they miss the person, but on a deeper spiritual level, they don't really care about it. I mean, they accepted it very much. And they don't have suicide rate there. I mean, the suicide rate, sorry, it's like...
Well, they realize that after you die, you kind of wake, you know? Because, like, a lot of, like, these Eastern philosophies say that life is a waking dream, right? And then, like, you actually awake after you die.
So they have an answer.
Wait, who does?
No, the Hindu, they have an answer that if you die, you're going to be awake. So they have an answer.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when you die? They're comfortable.
Yeah.
While you look at the Japanese,
they're a little bit more nihilistic.
There's no answer. With Zen Buddhism, there's no answer. I mean,
it's all just a riddle.
Yeah, there's answer of what's happening now, of the whole it. I mean, there's an answer, but there's no separate answer that if you die, this will happen. There is answer of who you are, what's this. I mean, and the answer there is like you feel it more than you know it. You know, it's a feeling.
Or the answer is just more questions.
It's interesting why the suicide there is high. I think if I want to think about the reason, is the individualism. I mean, the journey to connect with on the spiritual level was very individual journey, and by the end you can connect. I mean, you can be very spiritual, but you lose this. You lose the real thing. I mean, the other real thing, because there's multiple real things. The other real things what we have, you lose it. I mean, you can be spiritual and a bad person. I've met the spiritual assholes. I mean, they manipulate, they lie, they steal. But I see them when there's a sunrise. They're really feeling it. I mean, they're not pretending. I mean, when they meditate, they're really meditating. They're not pretending.
They're harnessing the power, but using it for bad.
But using it for bad. I mean. And this is another thing here, that not everyone's spiritual meditating, that means they're a good person. You can meditate and say the same dull person you are. I mean, meditation is a very basic thing. But to get the real thing, the real meditation is to put your house in order.
Mental health or physical health? Or
no,
both?
to put your house in order, like yourself in order. To understand yourself, to understand your needs, to understand everything around what your thought is made of. And then I think meditation comes in a real sense. It comes like the real connection comes.
Yeah.